my newest hot take on One Central development. It's most likely not going to happen. This is Gabby with Nex-Gen Real Estate and Property Management, serving Chicagoland in their real estate needs. And if you enjoy content like this, please let me know by subscribing and hitting that like button. As always, you can find a link below to schedule a free consultation with me. Today, I will discuss the recent updates about One Central and why I think it won't break ground. This has been a requested update from our previous video about One Central. Landmark Development's One Central is a highly contested project ever since it was first proposed in 2019. Even as it promises to invest in more transit access, more jobs, and economic opportunities in the South Side, it has gained more setbacks than progress. So let's dig into it. In 2019, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker started the negotiations with the Landmark Development for the One Central. But in 2022, his spokeswoman, Emily Bittner, said that the administration feels that it is a challenge of providing the amount of funding for the development. Now remember, in our previous video, I said that One Central was seeking $6.5 billion of government subsidies for the civic build phase. And right now, this is a project that is not on the list of priorities for the government. Both the federal government and the city government focuses their budget on pandemic recovery. For Illinois state budget, the budget includes increased funding for educational and human services and $1.8 billion in mostly temporary tax relief. The tax relief plan expands the state earned income tax credit from 18% to 20% of the federal credit, while also expanding the number of households that can claim the credit. There's also funding for a variety of job training programs, business attractions and retention program, and $55 million in capital funding to promote economic development through the state, including funds to support zero-emission vehicles manufacturing, clean energy, and supply chain manufacturing and other environmental projects. Chicago's city government is also suffering a budget crisis, especially when Mayor Lightfoot revealed that the stay-at-home shutdown has blown a two-year, $2 billion hole in the city's budget. And in the 2022 budget forecast, the government projected a $733 million budget gap for the fiscal year of 2022. The city's budget focuses on improving city services from the Chicago Police Department, affordable housing, and mental health services to a pilot program for a universal basic income. The priorities of the state and the city governments lie in addressing the lasting and counting impacts that the COVID-19 pandemic has dealt on both the health and financial well-being of residents and businesses across Chicagoland. In a community meeting for a casino proposal last April 19th, Hard Rock chairperson Jim Allen emphasized that their casino is not contingent on One Central development. HR Chicago LLC, which is the Hard Rock, proposes a $1.74 billion casino project on a portion of the One Central site. This proposal includes a 3,500-seat Hard Rock live venue, a Hard Rock music and entertainment experience, a 500-room hotel tower, a rock spa, rooftop space, outdoor green space, several restaurants, cafes, and food hall. And don't forget the 6 bars and lounges. Even if Hard Rock's team included Landmark Development's Bob Dunn as a major investor, they insisted that the casino can move forward regardless of the status of the One Central's development. Bob Dunn said, Hard Rock is separately financed, separately designed, and will be separately built, owned, etc. from any eventual developments of One Central. And the team even says that they would work with the city to determine if Hard Rock would pursue a separate planned development, a city zoning designation for large developments that guide the size and scope of the buildings for the casino outside the One Central development. According to Hard Rock, the temporary casino can be up and running by second quarter of 2023, while its permanent location would open in the third quarter of 2025. And the main reason why One Central is probably never going to happen anytime soon, the community doesn't want it. Regardless of the proposal's contents, there is a heavy not in my backyard vibe from South Loop residents. One South Loop resident named Mark Halper said, "We don't know what One Central is, but we do know that statewide we don't want to spend $6.5 billion to subsidize something you said we'll own, but didn't ask for, helper said. Even transport support advocates in the South Loop are not convinced by One Central and the transit improvement benefits they boast of. The director of University of Illinois at Chicago's Urban Transportation Center and the Metropolitan Transportation Support Initiative says, if you look at the transit connectivity, the south side of Chicago is very well served by public transportation. You have the Green Line, you have the Red Line, and the Metro lines that are going to different parts of the south side. Concerned citizens further state that the South Loop doesn't need a transit hub in the One Central site. One Central's transit feasibility study states One Central would see 9,290 daily Metro boardings, but the South Loop Concerned Coalition found Metro averages only 23 people each day at the 18th Street Metro stop prior to the coronavirus pandemic. Other complaints about One Central are the project's purposed building elevations are much too high as compared to the community's existing building heights. The proposed density is 4 times more than allowed by the city law, and the proposed 7-story concrete wall will cut off the part of the South Loop from the rest of the neighborhood. One Central's goal as a transit hub are lofty, but unfortunately it falls under the heavy scrutiny, more so now than ever. State and the city budgets are strapped to other priorities for social services and pandemic recovery. Companies who partner with One Central, like Hard Rock Casino and Chicago Bears, have either been exploring other developments or have left One Central entirely. Finally, there is too much pushback from the community. Most residents don't see the need for it to break ground. Landmark Development has not even completed a zoning application that provides comprehensive details about the project, so it's not going to start construction anytime soon. But what do you think? Is One Central dead, or is there still a chance for it to break ground? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and as always, where's your future?